One of the recent acquisitions was a Radio Shack Tandy Color Computer 2. This one is running Color Basic 1.2, and a friend has actually burned me a Extended Basic 1.1 ROM. So I'm going to go ahead and install this and see if we can get that working on this machine. So the Coco 2 is pretty easy to open up. All I had to do is remove 4 screws in the outer corners. It looks like potentially there might be 2 extra screws on some machines. Those were not present on this machine. So all I had to do is take out those 4. And then we can see the open slot here, U13, which is where I will install that Extended Basic 1.1 ROM. So we'll go ahead and get that in place. We can line it up. Get that installed. And that looks good. And then we'll go ahead and replace the cover. So I've got the ROM installed in the machine. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And there we go, Extended Color Basic 1.1. So it looks like the machine is upgraded. And I'm not going to dive too deep into the differences there between the previous version and this version. I might go into that in a later video, but I wanted to get that installed and confirm it was working. So over the past month or two, there's been a couple of PC cards that I've come across. Nothing super interesting, but I thought I would showcase some of those here. We've got a Sound Blaster CT3600. So kind of in that SB32, AW32 era. So it's got the slots for wavetable memory expansion. This does have some of the downsides. There's actually a spreadsheet posted on Vogons that has all the Sound Blaster cards listed and some of the issues with those. But if you're not too picky, this would be a pretty good card in a retro system. Does have some oddities here and there that you could run across. In addition to the ISA sound card, I came across a couple of PCI network cards from Netgear. The FA311 and FA310. I didn't actually have a lot of network cards available, so those were a pretty good find. In addition, we've got a couple of PCIe graphics cards. This is the Radeon EAH5450. This one has 1 gig of video memory. I actually found 3 of this card in the Goodwill bins. This is the Radeon HD 6350 with 512 megs of video RAM, so 3 of those. And then I came across the GeForce 7300 with 128 megabytes of RAM. I usually wouldn't grab newer stuff like this, but at the price when I'm in the looking through the Goodwill bins, they're like by the pound, so fairly inexpensive to grab those when I see PC cards. In addition to the expansion cards, I found a 4 gigabyte SCSI drive, a Quantum Viking. Looks like it is 4 gigabytes per the marking on here. I haven't actually tested this yet. And then there was also a Maxtor drive. Looks like somebody had a note on here from iBook, 6 gigabytes with a question mark, good. So I'll have to test this drive as well, but another interesting find. And then I found this 2-wire PCMCIA network card, or Wi-Fi, which can come in handy on older laptops that don't have Wi-Fi. So that was a pretty cool pickup. This one was pretty interesting. It is a PCMCIA / SCSI external cd-rom. The Panasonic KXL D740. It's pretty beat up, and it is missing the door here for batteries, but it does have a power jack, looks like 13 volt, so should be able to get that working. It's got a date here, March 1996, so that should be an interesting one. I don't have the SCSI cable to test it out yet, but I can at least probably give it a test. It looks like it will play audio CDs as well, so I might give that a try. I think it's got a, yeah, we've got a headphone jack, power button here, a lock on this side, and then the standard sort of CD player, track counter, and then a local friend, Tom, passed this on to me. It is the Pixy vision camera system. I've actually played around with it a little bit already. So it's a camera for an Arduino or other single board microcontroller, and you can train it for computer vision. And you can either train it via the computer to track a certain color, or if you are placing it on, say, a robot for tracking an object, you can train it via this button. So if there's something within the vision of the robot and you press this button, it will train it. I'll go ahead and put up a short clip showing some of the usage of the camera so you can see it in action.
I have a couple of different lighting conditions I tested. I've definitely noticed the color selection is pretty narrow in what it will accept. There's probably some adjustments that I can make, but you can see here that in the initial lighting conditions it tracks pretty well, but with any change in the exposure levels it seems to lose the tracking. But overall, pretty cool device, and should be interesting for some projects.
Another item that I picked up was this VGA to DVI scaler by Gefen. This was not actually from the Goodwill bins, but an item I did purchase on eBay. This will help out with the channel making videos. Will allow me to take VGA output from a computer and scale it to DVI, which I can then take to HDMI, and then into my Elgato capture device for capturing DOS and other VGA related device output. So it has VGA input, a power jack there. It does have an IR input, but probably not something I would be using, but interesting that it has that. And then the DVI out, and then some menus you can adjust various scaling options on the output for alignment like you would on an old VGA monitor for overscan, things like that. So yeah, I'll throw in a little video clip of some various games and DOS utilities and things running so you can see the output quality, and hopefully that'll be good for the channel.
I've been pretty pleased with the capture results so far, both DOS testing in text mode as well as graphical modes. The resulting capture can be a little bit soft, but I need to play with the settings a bit more and see if I can clean that up. One of the only downsides I've noticed so far is there is a overlay displayed when resolutions are switched. I haven't found a way to hide this yet. For capturing audio, I ended up routing it directly from the PC into my capture PC via the line-in port.
And then one final item I wanted to show was this Heathkit electronic switch, model ID 101. It looks like this was a device for taking two electric signals and hooking them up to the inputs here, and then you can either switch back and forth between the two signals or mix them together. But I really love the vintage look of this, and even if I don't use it for its original intended purpose, I can probably repurpose it as a project box for some other use. Just has a really cool look to it. Real nice metal sturdy box here. And then a quick look at the back. Not a whole lot going on back here, but we do have some probably potentiometers for adjusting the balance on those two signals, and a zero set point. A pretty interesting device there that I wanted to show as another pickup. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and if there's any things that you saw in this video or other things of interest, let me know, and I can use that as input for ideas on future videos and the types of things I want to show on the channel. Thanks for watching.